high-risk investment. Trading on margin carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. The possibility exists that you could sustain a loss of some or all of your initial investment, and therefore you should not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. You should be aware of all the risks associated with trading and seek advice from an independent financial advisor if you have any doubts. Market opinions. Any opinions, news, research, analyses, prices, or other information contained on this video is provided as general market commentary and does not constitute investment advice. Master the Markets will not accept liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation to any loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use of or reliance on such information.
Hello traders, welcome to our live trading workshop webinar. Today we got some great content to share with you and live trades as well. We got actually currently a live position here on cable just turned around over here. We'll be going through that. So our format usually is that we'll go through some live trading positions, and then after that we'll see if we can cover some really good topics for you all to learn and understand about the markets and how the smart money works. And then finally, we'll finish off with Q&A. And today, we got our very good trader friend and CEO of Trade Guider, Gavin Holmes, joining us to look at price and volume. Gavin, welcome. Oh, Gavin, you're muted.
Yes, thank you for that. My wife was trying to mute me, and she's been doing that for 20 years. Welcome, everybody. A big day for Trade Guider today as we launch our new software, which is the elite version of Trade to Win Pro. And we're going to be joined today by someone that I mentored and has now become part of the team out in Ohio and Cincinnati. And his name's Charles Atmore, who's going to be with us today. We'll introduce him in a second. Unbelievable developments going on right now with the company and what we're doing. So, you know, partnering with Tiru was a great thing to do, and you know we're going to show you some stuff today that's going to really blow your mind. It's someone has asked me, you know, can you do automated trading? And we're very close to it, but I don't want to say that we will do it, but there's some stuff that's going on right now, and Charles will show it later. And we're in some trades right now. Okay, there was a trade in gold that was triggered with an alert. Now we will say this. I'll give it to Charles here. He has developed an alert system that actually sends an email and an audible alert if you want to get it audibly or you want to get it in TradingView. It works in TradingView at the moment. That's what we've got it in. We've already got a lot of this in NinjaTrader. So if it's okay with you, Tira, I'd like to introduce Charles to the audience, and then after you've done your analysis, we can bring Charles in to have a look. Charles, if you're okay with that, Tira?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, should we run through the ongoing live trades before Charles?
Yeah, let me just bring in Charles quickly to introduce himself, and then we'll go
Charles,
straight.
welcome. Yes, come.
And, yeah, Charles, welcome. And you're part of the Trade Guider team now. You're a Chief Technology Officer. Everyone, this is Charles Atmore out in Cincinnati. Charles, if you want to say hello, and then we'll get to the charts.
Yeah, hello everyone. Glad to be here, and looking forward to a happy Easter with some good things going on in the market. So great to join you.
Brilliant. Tiru, over to you. Let's look at the start. Let's go to the screens.
Yeah, so let's go through our live trades at the moment, what we are seeing, traders, in terms of price and volume. So currently what we do is, you know, as you all know, we've got the smart money indicator over here. Just that is quantified the tops and bottoms here, along with the volume that you can see across the screens. We just had a recent upgrade on the SMI, which will show you the phase 1 and phase 2s over here, and the OE stats. Now, quickly, just why we are actually running this trade over here on this account here, just a little bit less than break even at the moment. Now, what's the reasoning behind it is what you guys should learn and get confidence in also doing this by yourself. And then Gavin will also share with you some of his trades. Let's carry on. So on GBP USD, what we have done is we do what we call the trend alignment table over here, right? So over here on the trend alignment table, if you take a look at this first row here, what I've done is across all the time frames, I've put what the trend is, and we see if there's a trend alignment. On the daily time frame, you can see over here, this is the good thing about quantifying your bottoms and tops, is you can see that this is an uptrend phase 1 at the moment, right? The signal came around over here on the bottom confirmation there. Nice steady uptrend in a systematic quantitative manner. You see, this is the good point about quantifying your tops and bottoms. You can do that in a systematic quantitative way, no guessing. You can easily see that's an uptrend, and because it's in alignment with the trend, that's an uptrend phase 1. Okay, those of you who want to find out about this trend alignment tables, go on to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/master the markets. Then you can then find out more on that. Over here, uptrend phase 1 as well, 4 hour, just turned in the last 4 hours. I'll put that onto the trend table here as well. Just uptrend phase 1. Let me just update that, which you can see over here. Uptrend phase 1. Then over here, you can see that on the 1 hour time frame, we can see that over here, that's in an uptrend phase 1. It just turned with this big price action bar, taking out the high of this and also the range of today as well, okay? And a big volume spike across the third moving average over here. But the critical thing is, just to make sure that this is not a shakeout, we should see how this bar closes. And if you guys want to enter on a earlier basis, then I would say take a look at the lower time frame. So over here on the 1 hour, I've got the 15, I've got the uptrend phase 1 as well. And then on the 15-minute, let's go down a bit further down here. And I got the VSA light on here as well. And we can see how this is coming across the signal systems as well that Charles has programmed. So over here, you can see that just on the last one here, it just confirmed it on the 15-minute. Also, VSA light turning green over there. From a stretch principle perspective as well, taken out the last range as well. My only concern with this trade is that it's taken out the lower stretch. Only on this platform, I've got the stretch indicator. It's taken out the lower stretch. But if the momentum carries on, we will see if we can take out the upper stretch and form this bigger range from open to the upside. Those of you a little concerned on that, you can always take it at that lower risk on this. So when you take a look at the table here, after you've aligned all the trends together, you can see that even on the 15-minute, let me just, it's an uptrend phase 1 as well. So it's a clear-cut trend strength over here that we can see across all the time frames. Is an uptrend phase 1. And what we are doing as a small target, we are using the 1 ATR or 15 pips. And the good reason for that is, if you see, we've upgraded this for all our clients on the indicator subscription. You will get that. We can now select just the P1s, not all of them being shown over there, just the phase 1s only, to get a more accurate target. And we can see that it gets to 1 ATR about 67%, 68% of the time, which is near to about 70% of the time, okay? And we can do the MAE accordingly as well over there. And I'll just do the MAE before I hand over to Gavin to take a look at gold as well, if he's on that. And those of you on a Telegram channel will send this order details. So if you haven't entered it yet, there's still time. It's hovering around there. And on the phase 1s, it looks like 1.5. So 1.5, 1.75. If we place our stop loss there, we won't get stopped out 96% of the time. So now that's a strong stats to have. ATR is about 12 over here. So 1.75 times 12, how much would that be? Let's see whose maths is faster than the calculator before I take that out. 1.7. You got it? You got it, Gavin?
No, I haven't. I'm rubbish at math.
21. So What we got the close over here is 32, let's just say 32.50. 32.50 minus 21. That's 32.29. Okay, so that's how I can put my stop a bit more tighter based on stats validations. Okay, so let me just do that. 32.29 on this, and it'd be good to rock and roll. I'll edit that across all the other platforms here. So I can just change this to 32.29 here, right? And you'll get that across your Telegram channel as well. Okay, 32.29, and you know that when I've placed my stop over there, backed by stats, that I won't be stopped out 97% of the time. Now, that's how we trade with conviction over here, even though the trade may come against you a little bit, but we understand the volatility and we keep sticking on to the trade towards our target. The last thing what I'll do for those of you on Telegram already, I will also amend it here. I think Karan would have sent out the invite. So 32.29, 32.29. So that will go out to our Telegram channel members. That's the whole idea, traders. So now you understand why we're taking this trade and why I was a little bit late as well, because I was placing this on our accounts. So you can see 32.50 taken out of the range, BRO looking to form to the upside, trend alignment across all tables, volume confirmation as well. Look at that. Textbook example, we're definitely being guided by someone upstairs over there, Gavin.
Yeah, I think it's Tom Williams is with us here today.
I can definitely see that textbook example here. Nice volume spike as well. This is one of the perfect textbook scenarios we want. And you can see that the next bar didn't really close much lower, almost near that. Look at the background as well. Nice, beautiful setup of accumulation over there as well.
Yeah.
And we got nice green dot confirmation on the VSA line. Perfect. We couldn't ask for anything more. Can't say that, yes, this will be a 100% guaranteed trade, but definitely it ticks all the boxes. That's how we trade on probabilities. That's the reasoning for this trade. And if you see that, and you want to extend this over to other trades as well, that's the whole idea. We're not only giving you the fish here, but teaching you how to fish as well. So we'll see how this goes along. Gavin, that's for me on the live, the potential trades. You want to look at other instruments, gold or something like that?
Well, I'm in gold right now, and that's thanks to Charles as well. And we'll look at it. First of all, what you just said there is an absolute classic 2-bar reversal at the bottom. Right, I've got it. I've got an alert that's come in. Now we've programmed this in to the new software. That you've got it. Now you've got the SMI confirming it. I've got the VSA confirming it. You mentioned something that I think people might need to listen to very carefully. You talked about probability, and that's what trading is all about. Life is probability. I can cross the road 1,000 times and not be hit by a car, and then one day I could make a mistake. And it's probability. That's what we live in. We live in a world which is full of probability. I hate to say it, but it is. And you've got to work with your mind, which is in my third book, Think, Link, Create. I've talked about this. You've got to use your mind. Your mind is like a parachute. It's best used when open. And then if you see something that makes sense, your gut says, yeah, go with it. If you see something that doesn't make sense, you avoid it. Now, what we'll do, and I'm going to bring in a new member of our team here, his name's Charles Atmore, and we mentioned Charles earlier. And what I'll do, can I take the screen, Terry, if that's all right?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to try and just put the screen on here. Just bear with me. I'm going to show you what's going on. And we'll share that. Okay, and you should be able to see here a chart of the gold.
Yeah, I can see that nice and clear. Hopefully all the others can as well. If you can see it, please type in yes on.
And you should be able to see something called alerts with all these alerts coming in, yeah?
Yeah.
This is completely new. This is the elite version of the we have Trade to Win Pro, which we launched a few months ago, and now we've got Trade to Win Pro Elite, which has got a lot of new features in it. And I have to give full credit to Charles for developing this, and he'll explain this. Now, at the moment, I'm on a 5-minute chart of gold, and I've gone long just down here, and it's based on a test in a rising market. But then we've had an upthrust, so I've been now stopped out. So I'm now waiting for the next test in a rising market, and there's 3 of them. Some of them are normal tests, and we've got new indicators that Charles and I are working on that we're going to add in. But for the moment, this is absolutely brilliant. Now, what you're going to see at the bottom, and I'm not going to explain it myself. I'm going to let Charles do it because he developed it. We've got these volume histograms, and in effect, what we've got our normal volume histogram. We've got this one. Nothing's changed. We haven't taken anything out. All we've done is add, and we're going to put in. We've got SMI on here. It all works together beautifully. Now, one of the things that we're looking at as a company is not only selling some software, but now doing training. And every Thursday, Tura and I, and now it'll be Charles as well, will come in and support you. Now, we also support you in a different way as well now, because our ticketing system is absolutely upgraded. So now, if you've got questions, we'll allocate them to the relevant person. So if it's a trading question, you're in America, it'll go to Charles. If it's in Canada, it'll go to Charles. If it's in Australia, it'll probably go to Paul, who's one of the guys that is going to be working with us out there. What we do here, though, is we look at, again, probability. And Charles is a very experienced trader, but most importantly, he understands VSA because he's actually putting this stuff in. So I want to bring in Charles, if I may, Tiru, to just explain in 15 minutes, say, what, and you can keep it to 15 minutes because we'll do a much more advanced video. We're going to put that one back up, by the way, the one we did yesterday, Charles. We'll put that back up on YouTube with a proper link so that people can see that. So, ladies and gentlemen, the new member of the team officially announcing our new CTO, which is Charles Atmel in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm looking forward to going for a nice big steak with him at some point. I bet you're going to tell me, Charles, you're a vegetarian.
No. The funny thing is, probably the best steakhouse in Cincinnati is it's called the Precinct, which used to be a police station.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Laura and I have been there. It's a wonderful place. Charles, I'm going to hand the screen over to you. You can take the screen. Just give us a brief overview of gold, can you? Because that's where I've made my money today. We've got an upthrust, which is interesting because everything's sort of turning. Can you just explain with the new software, the Elite version, just some of the benefits and how you use it with SMI, which we both use? And there you go. Okay, so if you take the screen, Charles, you should be able to just share your screen.
Yep. Are you seeing it now?
I can see a risk disclosure. Yep. Is that your screen?
Yes, this is my screen here. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. All yours.
Sure. So I've got gold up here now, and I've got a 30-minute chart as an example. Okay. And
yeah, I can't see your screen, so you need to share your screen, I think.
Okay.
I'm just seeing the Master of the Markets risk disclosure screen. So if you stop sharing the screen, Kyron, and then we can.
No, Gavin, I think the public can see because I think you need to come out of because you're seeing in the Zoom. I can see Charles one.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Go ahead. That's fine.
Yeah, Martin is also confirming that he can see it. Yeah, that's all good.
Okay, fine.
Fantastic.
Go for it, Charles.
So one of the things that's interesting is you'll see from talking to everybody on the panel here, you can trade multiple time frames. You know, if you're more of a shorter term trader, you'll look at smaller time frames and try to get some type of alignment with some higher time frames to make your trade and look for your setups. One of the things that I've added just recently, so this is brand new, is a heat map at the bottom to align or help you understand what the alignment is across multiple time frames. So for instance, I've got a 30-minute chart up right now. And if you look down at the bottom, I've got a number of time frames here, and these are all programmable. I do have some presets set up to make it quick and easy. Right now, I've got, you can see 5 different time frames down there. I've got a 30-minute, a 1 hour, a 2 hour, a 4 hour, and a daily. Now you're probably looking at that saying, okay, well, what's that based on? It's based on this short-term trending indicator right here. So for each of these time frames, I'm going out and I'm looking at that time frame and I'm looking at this indicator and saying, okay, well, based on a 1 hour time frame, you can see right now it's turned negative as it has also with the 30-minute, but I'm still positive on a 2 hour, a 4 hour, and a daily. Okay, so in other words, on a higher time frame, this will look just like a pullback, a little bit of a mean reversion, if you will. And if you go to lower time frames, it'll look like a big downtrend, right? It's all about perspective in your trading. So across over here, I'll just give you an example of how you can leverage this. You start getting a sideways market in here in gold. You can see you've been sideways for multiple days on a 30-minute time frame as an example. So let's say you're doing a swing trade, which might be 1, 2, 3, 4 days, something short, could even be just a single day, depending on your setup. So it's trading sideways. You can see down here on a 4 hour and a daily, I'm staying positive, right? On a 2 hour, it's going negative, positive, neutral. So the gray is neutral, meaning that it's in congestion. And then it starts to break out a bit on a 30-minute. You can see that right here. It starts to go from downtrend to uptrend to neutral. So when you start getting this back and forth flip, you can kind of think of that as that's when the price bar is sitting back and forth right on top of that time frame before it breaks out. Here you can see it starts breaking out. My 1 hour goes green. My 2 hour is in congestion. It goes green to right here. So there you can see you've got full time frame alignment across all 5 time frames. You want to get in a bit earlier on a signal? Well, you can see that you had here you had a potential buying, you had a test. Here the SMI indicator confirmed an uptrend. You can get in right around here. This is a low risk entry point, very low risk entry point on a 30-minute chart. And you can see the up move. In the grand scheme of it, you have risked something as small as this amount here for a potential upswing of what you're seeing here. There's other places where you could add on. Let's say you got in a little light, maybe with a contract, and this is gold. It could be, this is going to apply to the micro gold, any of these instruments that have a micro version. If you don't have capitalization to trade the full size, go to the micro. It works exactly the same way. Stay with liquid micro contracts on various instruments and you'll be just fine. And you can see here, we've got a rising market. I've got full confirmation across all of the time frames. We've got some tests here. Any of these would work. This one right here obviously looks like the best one, but it's always hard to guess which one is the best one. But you did have an up thrust here, came down.
Charles, sorry to disturb you.
Test.
Charles, sorry to disturb you. You just had a comment to, just zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry. I've got a big screen. So let me appreciate that. I'm sorry. There we go. Can you see that better?
Yeah, much better, I think. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
How's everyone feeling that? Yeah, if you can type in the chat box, that'd be great. Carry on, Charles.
Yeah, no, good. So we've got a test and no demand. You'll see that it'll kind of chop sideways a little bit here. Here's another test in a rising market, right close to the short-term trending indicator, and you get a nice swing up. So multiple tests in a rising market, and any of these would work. Just depends on where you put your stop. You got to be cognizant of that. And there's another opportunity to add on an existing trade if you're already in it. If you missed it, here's an opportunity to get in. And again, you can get in on a pretty low risk entry point for a potential good upswing there. So you're probably looking at this and wondering, well, how there's a lot of hours here, right? If you're trading as a swing trader, this stuff right here, I'm in the US, so this is all nighttime hours for me. This is kind of off session hours, if you will. This is a normal stock market hours. You can think of this as the day session in the US. So there's a lot of sleeping time here, right? And what are you going to do? Are you going to stay up all night? Not everybody's like Gavin. I can't stay up all night.
It's me.
Yeah, stay up all night and trade. I don't do that, but you can set alerts. So for instance, if you're looking for, a new trend to start to get in on a trade. So for instance, you're trading again, I'm just using a 30-minute time frame as an example. and you're looking here and you know the longer term trend is up, you've got some signals in the background that tell you that, okay, there's potential buying here. It's going to take a little time to for that accumulation to take place before it comes in. You can set an alert, you know, on an SMI. You can set an alert on the trend change. So in here, for instance, you can see this 30-minute trend changed around here. If you want to get an alert on that in the configuration, you just select an uptrend. Alert me on an uptrend. Okay, and then you can create an alert over here. And you can say, well, you know what? Here's that indicator. And you can either leave it as alert any function call. In other words, any of those I've selected to alert on will alert, or you can select a specific one. So that happened to be the 30-minute was the time frame 8. We've got 8 time frames in here currently. And you can do once per bar close. You want to wait until it ends. You give it a name like PSA 30-minute uptrend, create the alert. And what that's going to do is now moving forward, anytime like here we are again, I've got a 30-minute, I'm in a downtrend. The next time this 30-minute goes back to an uptrend, I'll get an alert. It'll show up in my email. It'll show up on my phone, up inside of TradingView, inside the alerts that have come in that you've not gotten rid of. You can clean your alert log out right there. You can clear your log. They'll show up in there as well. And that's how you can stay informed. So you're looking for your setup, but you may not want to sit in front of the computer all day long. You know, I'm semi-retired. I don't sit here and look at 5-minute charts all day. My wife's got me out cutting the grass and taking the garbage out and fixing the fence. You know, the honey-do list continues. But if you want to stay informed and look for the opportunities, I trade on slightly higher time frames, typically more swing trading, like 30 minutes to an hour. To something longer, and this is the way to stay informed without sitting in front of the screen all day.
Yep.
So that's an example of a 30-minute. I've got just some presets I've done roughly inside of TradingView for any other time frame that you're interested in. So if you were doing more of an hour-long swing trading, you can set it up for an hour and it'll pop up with a 1, 2, 4 in a day. Again, all configurable. So that you can set up templates in here very quickly inside of TradingView to make it be whatever you want to be. And same thing applies. We look at an hour. You can see the hour starts to trend down. It starts getting congested. It's going back and forth. My 2-hour is not quite there. Here I've got an SMI confirmation on a phase 1 uptrend. My 2-hour kicks in over here. If you really want it to take a little bit more of a conservative approach, you could wait for your 2-hour trend to turn up. You could take that right at the top of that bar as a breakout. And there's another example. So just a few different ways to use it. The thing I like about it most is that I can see kind of the backstory of the history about how things are progressing from a trend perspective only. Okay. So this is not necessarily looking at all of the individual indicators. This is just looking at that short-term trend indicator and giving you a single screen or a single pane of glass to understand how that trend indicator is propagating across higher time frames. Okay. Again, works with any instrument. It's all pretty much the same. As long as you've got an email configured inside of TradingView, you can get an email alert. Otherwise, you'll get whatever alerts you've got configured. So as an example, that one alert we just set up, if I look at it, there's a notification tab here, and I can say, okay, notify me in the app. There's some other things you can do if you're integrating with other applications and doing other things. There's, you know, Toast and webhooks and different things that you can configure. But if you've got send email configured and you've got an email set up in your profile, you will get an email. And I promise you, you'll get a bunch of them if you set up a whole bunch of different time frames and instruments. I think Gavin did a little experiment last night, and I'm sure his wife probably kicked him back out to the living room if I had to guess.
Yep.
All right, I think that's the big stuff on that particular indicator.
Okay. So Charles, could you put up the British pound? Because I think Tira's got this nailed on, as usual.
Is it
So
okay if I
I put
pull
up
up?
the 6B, which is the future.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Yeah.
say. If I can pull up the 6B, I don't trade too many.
No. If you put up the 6B,
There you go.
and we'll have a look at this, because you've got you've got professional buying there right down at the bottom. That's a classic. Well, we're going to develop an indicator that as soon as it takes the top of that bar out, which has got the lines on it, which is part of our system, it will trigger a trade. It's going to be automated. That's the one thing I'm going to do. Yeah, exactly there. So let's just quickly analyze this chart, because we've got everything backing it up. You've got the SMI indicator, so master the markets indicators in the background, saying, price and volume are telling us something's about to happen. You've got a big markdown. Yep, right there. Right. And look at the volume, everyone. Okay. And look at what the new system is telling us. It started to turn green almost instantly. Now that's pretty clever. If you go to a smaller time frame, which I don't do it now, but if you did go to I showed yesterday in the video a 10 tick 100, I think it was a 100 tick chart we used or something like that. You can really pick this up quicker to get the move. This is incredibly powerful. Now, I've got some questions. One guy's just emailed me, and that's fine. I will email you back, John. I won't do this on a public webinar, because I know that question is very valid. So if we start with the PB bar, please, Charles, if you can just go to, that one, right down. Now, first of all, let's just do some basic analysis, right? The market's falling. It's not going up. It's been going down. Now, the two rules you must remember, everyone, please, is when strength appears, when buying appears, it happens on down moves. You don't want to buy high, you want to buy low. Logical, right? That's simple. But most traders are using systems that buy at the tops and sell at the bottoms, because they're using lagging indicators. This is not lagging. We're not using mathematical formulas. We're using supply and demand, cause and effect, effort versus result. When you put the SMI indicator over the top of it, it's price and volume. It's not mathematical. So Tiru and I come from different backgrounds. He's from a medical background. I'm from a law enforcement police background. So we look at this logically. We go, well, look, if we're trying to apply a mathematical formula to the market and it works every time, we're going to lose money, because it won't work every time. But so what we teach you, and now Charles is part of the team, is risk management. I think that's the first thing. Understanding capitalization, which Charles mentioned earlier. If you've got a $1,000 account, you can't be placing 50 lots in the S&P or something. But people try, and they get sold the line. Okay, that they can do that. It's not fair. So here's the rules, and it comes with this new elite version. Number one, this is not a piece of software. You think it is. It's going to come with training, has to, which is going to be a weekly training session, a bit like this, which is public at the moment, but it will be eventually, once we do it, it'll go private. We'll do a private training session to answer your questions. It'll be open mic sessions, so you can see us trade. But let's talk about this setup, because the one where we've got here is a classic 2-bar reversal, which is what it is. Now, some of you are going to say, well, Gavin, if I left click on the indicator, it doesn't bring up the dialog box like we used to have, or we still got in Smart Center Pro. Don't worry. My second book will be given for free, which got all the indicator descriptions in it. And it's a PDF, or you can order it off Amazon. It's up to you, but I think a PDF is better. And you could just refer to it and say, well, I've seen this. So you'll get that. Thirdly, let's talk about the actual chart itself. So Charles, what I'd like you to do is, first of all, can you point at the closing price of the PB bar, the potential buying bar, the closing price right there. Okay. Now, the software has seen this and it's put some lines out. Now, what are those lines? They're called trigger numbers or trigger lines. And I developed that. That was my, I didn't actually program it, but it was my idea. And why I thought about this was through Tom Williams, because I said to him, well, surely there's a point where the market capitulates and it's going to turn. And then when I met Tiru and we looked at the charts together, I went, you're looking at the same thing in a different way, but it's not different. It's quite similar. And it happened to be Tom Williams wrote a book called Master the Markets and Tiru's company called Master the Markets. It's coincidence. But of course, there is no such thing as coincidence in life. You meet people for reasons. Like I met Charles. Now, watch. The very next bar is a massive reversal bar, and it's a really good signal. And where you would go long on that bar is when it takes out the top of that dotted line that you see, and you go to a smaller time frame. And now what Charles has developed for us is basically areas where the alignment is all green, which you can see it is now. All right, and this is in the pound right now, and it's probably going to go higher right now. I would be very surprised if it doesn't, because they're actually you're going to get a test. Now, Charles, can you we've got all the time frames there. Can you put a 1 minute chart up, so we can see a 1 minute time frame? I know it's a very
just a quick question that's coming through. You know this red bar that is forming at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Now, what would your best advice to traders be so that they don't panic around here, thinking that they got the direction or the volume wrong?
Very simple. Go to the smallest time frame. I'd like to use a 3 minute or a 1 minute chart. They're usually very accurate, because
That would go to you want to do a 5 minute?
Yeah, do a 5. Yeah, that's fine. That's the same. Okay. Now, if you analyze that, you should see a test somewhere. Oh, there it is. There you go. That's it. So yes, it's there. And look at the trend alignment at the bottom. Yep, it's all aligning in the new software. You've got the SMI indicators backing you up. Again, what you would look at is that big red bar, which is closed in the middle, next bar up. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's high volume. So the supply is present. You want to see another test in a rising market here, and then you can put the order in right now if you want to, because the first test has failed because they're still marking it down. But what I like about this chart, and Tiru picked it up right at the beginning, that if you look at the SMI indicators in the background, yeah, they're all backing it up. It's all there, okay, and you can see it, and it's rallied, obviously, which it would. But keep in mind, and this is very important, we're doing this webinar on a Thursday before Easter. So you might get a lot of, and actually the UK market will close shortly and the European markets will close. So you won't get a lot of movement here, but it's still important to recognize. But go back to gold, please, if you would, Charles, because that is a great trade. And
one of the things I was going to mention, we were talking about capitalization. A number of these currency futures contracts have micros. And so, for instance, the Australian dollar, the British pound does, the euro does. So you've got 3 of them right there that are all going to trade pretty much identical to the larger contract, but it's going to be a much smaller contract. Meaning, if you don't have the money to be able to get in, you can go to a smaller contract. You're going to pretty much see the exact same setup, exact same price action. Yeah, there might be a little bit of difference, but they're going to be very close.
Yeah, that's a really valid point. And it's the same with cryptocurrency, right? So the CME group have launched, a couple of years ago now, a micro Bitcoin, which you can trade. So you can trade crypto. And this works in crypto. Absolutely fine. So let me summarize. If we can go to the, can you put the gold chart back up? Because I think, is that gold there? Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's it. And if you could put the 1 hour chart on, because we had an upthrust on the big time frame and it went back down, and now we can just click on it. This is the new software, but we can see the overall trend is still up. And even on this webinar, in the last hour, it's been going up because you've got an SMI indicator confirmed, you've got an uptrend, and in the Trade to Win Pro Elite software, which we're going to launch officially today to our selected customers, so they'll get an email with the special pricing for customers, and then on Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday, we'll go to the whole database with the offer. But what we see there is really interesting. You've got a clear trend alignment in the bigger time frames. The smaller time frames have gone into a bit of congestion. That's not particularly surprising because we are just heading into holiday periods. But what Charles has developed here is, yeah, the congestion is now coming in on the smaller time frame. Well, it would do because, you know, we're in a time frame here where it's we're coming into the London fix, which is the gold fix, which happens in 1 hour and 15 minutes. And it's going to be very volatile, I can tell you. So beware. If you're in a trade here, and I've already closed mine, but if you're in a trade here, be warned that gold will become. I think what will happen with gold, it will be spiked. Okay, but it's again, we're trading. You're trying to predict the future, and you can't really do that. You trade what you see, and I'm going to bring Tiru in here on this because it's important. Because Tiru and I have traded together for quite a long time. And we've traded at live shows, the IX Investor Show last year. I was there. He was there this year, representing the Trade Guider and Master of the Markets. And one of the things that everyone wants to try to do is be predictive and say, oh, that's going to do that. Now, we're fairly accurate at it, and it's quite uncanny. And Tom was incredibly accurate at it, which is why I'm quite happy to get in front of an audience of thousands of people and say, this is what the market is about to do, and then trade it. Now, that is a skill that is not learned in a week, but people want to learn it in a week. So Tiru and I, and now with Charles and some of the other members of the team that we'll introduce you to, are trying to make it quick and easy, but not easy. I'm not going to say this. That's a really bad thing to say. Trading is not easy. If trading was easy and everyone said, oh, I can make millions and it's easy, we would be lying to you. But you can learn quickly now, thanks to the internet, thanks to, well, Tiru just talked about some social media thing. I'm not very big on that. I use YouTube, or the company does, and it works. Tiru, back to you. You've seen some of this, and I know this is really fast development. There's lots more to come, thanks to Charles. So we've got a lot of things. It's very exciting times. Tiru, going back to someone who's listening to this saying, I want to learn to trade and start making money next week. What's your advice on that?
I think like everything, it's like saying, you know what, you want to drive a car within 2 weeks. You know what's that's going to happen. Maybe you might get the accelerator right, but you might not know how to use the brake or the clutch, and you go and crash. So that's what you do not want. We've heard a lot of horror stories, right, Gavin? In your experience and my experience over what 50 years cumulative, that that people have been trading for over 5-7 years, and one of the biggest ones I heard was this guy was trading on a big position, $500,000 and all of that, very big successful entrepreneur, but he didn't even know what a stop loss was. So yeah, so it's really crazy, extreme horror stories you hear. Some guys wouldn't know what a trading strategy is, or crib sheet is, or a trading plan is. They wouldn't have their rules written out. So yeah, you get all kinds of things, and I think it's also some part of it is I think it's to do with the online space and the media, that people think it's easy, like you said. But it's not really, is it? I mean, it's a lot of, it's like anything, any profession. You need to learn it systematically. You need to learn it logically, and it's good if you got a mentor. It speeds up the process as well. So all of those things, I think, and especially right now, you see, the main thing what people got to understand is, even on this gold trade or on this cable trade, the toughest thing or the fear that happens in the mind is when the trade goes against you once you've entered. And where and how long do you stay in it still? And the main question to ask yourself is, at which level is the trade invalidated, right? And are you backed by stats for that or not? For us, how do we remove the fear over here? We use a combination of the price and the volume backed by validative stats, which I just showed you guys. And that's what gives us the conviction. And how do you get the conviction? Do a few replay modes. I mean, a replay function in TradingView is really, really good for you guys to get an idea of, even though how much it goes against you, is still will then swing back to your target. We've done live trading before where, you know, where the gold missed our target, our stop loss by 23 cents last week, and it shot back to the target. We've done also ones where DAX, we've sat in with it for about 30-40 minutes where it's going against us. But because we got the stats backing with the price and volume understanding and the background and the whole price analysis before we take a trade, this is what gives us the conviction. Doesn't mean we're going to get 100%, right? There's no trader out there who gets it 100% right. Even the billionaire hedge fund traders don't get it 100% right. But the point is to build an A that you will win in the long run. And what Charles has put here together also gives you more conviction across all the different time frames by looking at this green squares. But it takes you time. You need to drive it a little bit for some time before you get the conviction on them. That's what I would say, Gavin.
You're absolutely spot on. Spot on. I think I bought a website called Spot On
Yeah,
Trading.
that's right. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
It's one of Terry's favourite words. Oh, you got it spot on there, Gavin. Yes. So I want to sort of hand this back over to Charles finally for a few final words, because we'll send an email out with details of the new offering and Charles's details. We're going to set those up. But I just want to say I've just had a text from my publisher, and I published a book, and you can probably see it here. It's called Think, Link, Create. All right, this is the hard copy version. It's got a really nice cover on it, and I didn't design that. And it's very relevant. Tiru and I talk about this a lot. There is something about trading and investing and making money, but you've got to link and you've got to create it. And I want to just read to you what they wrote on the back. And it's very close to my heart here, and I hope this helps you. And if you want to get the book, it's on Amazon.com. It's in 268 outlets right now. And I've just seen the royalty report. Oh, it's going to be a good Easter. Right, here we go. About the author, it says, the inspiration to write this book came after a life-changing near-death experience, which profoundly impacted me, that's Gavin, and set me on a new path, one that led me to incredible personal growth and transformation. Having served as a police officer with the Met Police in London and Hampshire Constabulary in Southampton, I witnessed many things, both good and bad, that showed my perspective. After leaving the police, that shaped my perspective. After leaving the police service, I explored various roles, which included working in the Yellow Pages, managing a jewellery shop, as an advertising salesman for the Yellow Pages, and as a sales manager for an exhibition design company. That's how life goes. You just go on a path, right? My true calling, however, was to start my own business. And in 1997, I founded an exhibition design and internet company that became highly successful. In 1999, I had the good fortune of meeting Tom Williams, a former syndicate trader from Beverly Hills, California, who taught me the art of trading and investing in the financial markets. This led to the sale of my exhibition company and the launch of TradeGuider, a company focused on chart reading software, which we're seeing. I also authored 2 other books on trading and investing. Trading in the Shadow of the Smart Money was the first book, and the Complete Volume Spread Analysis System Explained, which you will all get as part of our course, because it will back up everything that I'm saying here. Through these experiences, I came to understand that we are all governed by universal laws. One of the most profound is the law of attraction, which asserts that what we think, we manifest. My experience with this law has been both enlightening and challenging, but I've learned that negative experiences are opportunities for growth, not punishment. As my role of CEO of TradeGuider, I had the privilege of traveling the world, many countries, speaking to thousands of traders. During one such trip to Australia, a client gifted me a small book called As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. This book, along with many others, shaped my understanding of how thoughts shape our reality. In Think, Link, Create, the book, I pose questions that empower you to take control of your future, should you choose to do so. I quote many respected authors, teachers, spiritual leaders, and businessmen in this book because while our life experiences differ, we are all one in spirit and mind. The teachings in Think, Link, Create came together through my own journey, deeply influenced by the book Three Magic Words by Ulz Anderson, which beautifully outlines the principles of purpose, love, compassion, connection, and God. Additionally, The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lifton has also helped me understand how our beliefs shape our reality. If you're depressed, you will be. If you believe you're happy, even in adversity, you'll be practicing gratitude daily, especially before sleep, and it creates a powerful connection with the universe as it responds unconditionally to the law of gratitude. So, with the final words from me, I would say to all of you listening to this on YouTube on the live stream, and you'll probably see the recording, believe in yourself, be happy, understand the charts. If you're going to trade, don't get angry when you lose. And Turu will, I'm sure, echo the same words as I hand back to him and then to Charles. The most important part, okay, is to be confident. Now there you go. See, look at this. Turu, I'm going to hand over to you and then we'll bring Charles in for the final words and then I'll let everyone know how they can connect with us and we'll send an email out with this recording.
That's awesome.
I hope those words are positive for you all as we go into Easter, and namaste to you all, and may your God bless you. Happy Easter. Turu, back to you.
Yeah, great. Traders, I think just to finish off, I know we've been just a little bit over 45 minutes to an hour, coming to an hour right now.
Yep.
We can see on the GBP/USD, I think we've analyzed this enough. But what I just want for you all to take away is this sitting period, right? Where it hovers around. You know, sometimes if you want to use just a casual word, we call it a dance. That's what Stuart used to say. Our US client that Gavin and I know, and we have mentored him as well.
Yeah.
And in a technical term, this is what we call the volatility. And when you know the volatility, the dance that it does, which we have quantified here, right? And we can use that with volume as well. Then you know your stats and you're trading with conviction, okay? And I know quite a couple of you, even in gold, when you take a look at gold, which Charles was showing just now, and Gavin was showing as well. It depends. I mean, if some of your strategies has got a target built into it, right? I was just looking at the stats just now on the open equity. This spike over here would have hit your 180-hour target. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't remain long in this. It just depends on your objectives for different strategies. I can't stress that enough. It's very important to know your objectives for different strategies. Just how you build anything in life in terms of any perspective. The last thing what I do want to mention is, I know some of you ask, okay, how do you find out more about both of the indicators, especially some of you don't have the SMI or the VSA. The best things to do, traders, I would say go to 7 steps to CTP.com. You can learn this in detail. As you know, this is a flexible system. It's not rigid. So you can combine this with any indicator out there at all. But the framework, the principles for this is very powerful. And then you can also get the 7 videos over here as well. And you can watch that at your own free time, okay? And of course, whenever we go live, I know some of you are saying, you know, why is it that I'm not getting the notifications for this? YouTube.com/Master the Markets. When you click the subscribe button, click on the all bell icon, okay? This is the most important part. And then you'll get notifications. Same thing when we're going live on Trade Guider as well. So youtube.com/Trade Guider. And once you are on that website, again, click the subscribe button and the all bell icon so that you get the notifications being sent. So you can see we're being live over here on Trade Guider channel. In that way, you don't miss out. And me and Gavin, we're strong believers, right? That you learn the most when you trade live. Because who can teach you this, actually? You know, come on, like, you know, yeah, we can talk in theory, you know what, yeah, if you entered here, you would have got out here. But, you know, it's the sitting through this dance, sitting through this volatility that, you know, plays with your head. And you panic and you sell out and you come out, you know. the biggest things in trading, I would say, in psychology wise, is learning the P word, the patience. And
Yep.
that patience can only come with an intellectual backing of understanding how price and volume comes together. And it's so logical what we're teaching here, over 50 years cumulative experience. Now Charles has also joined as well over here. Incredible to see his progress also. You know, we have mentored him and seen him progress also over the years. So it's really good to see how everything is coming together. I know we're running out of time. Last few words from Charles, and then we'll do a quick wrap up, and then we will finish off.
Sure, great stuff. Yeah, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Here in the U.S., we have tomorrow Good Friday off, and it's kind of a holiday for the markets. So I'd say take advantage of time off. You know, continue to learn and educate yourself. Be happy to lean on us to help you in any way that you might need, and be patient. You know, this is a whole process. It doesn't happen overnight. You have to be patient. You have to continue to work on sharpening your edge, and stick to a game plan, stick to a strategy.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I think, guys, with that, I think we'll do a nice wrap up today. Thank you for joining us. It's really great to serve you all. Those of you on Telegram channel will manage the trade. We'll see how it goes, and we'll send an update to you guys as well. And from us, as we always say, have a great Easter. And until the next time, stay disciplined, follow your trading plan, and keep trading like a master. Take care, and bye for now.